Hey, it's Rich Austin. Welcome back to another edition of Sales PTI, where we talk about 3 topics that you've chosen in 3 minutes. Let's see how much damage we can do. Sales and management topics, here we go. Number 1, prospecting. So a staggering statistic came across my desktop today, and I wanted to share it with you. Between 50 and 70% of salespeople in the United States did not hit their quota last year. That's a massive number. And so the question is, what's leading to that? And I think we have an idea of what those 3 things are. Number 1, fear of rejection. Most salespeople are absolutely afraid to hear the words no, and so they won't do the activity necessary to build a pipeline that's big enough and robust enough to support their sales numbers at the end of the year. They choose not to do the activity. Number 2, need for approval. The average salesperson has an absolute high, desperate need to be liked. And so how do we change that from a need to be liked to a need to be respected? Because those are 2 very different conversations. And number 3, we're not listening and we're not building value. So the average salesperson goes into a sales opportunity with an idea of what they want to sell before they've even asked the prospect what it is the prospect is looking for. So let's stop presenting and let's start engaging by asking questions. All right, topic number 2. Time management. Time is the great differentiator, and it's also the great equalizer. It's the great differentiator because the only thing that really separates professionals on a daily basis is how they choose to proactively invest their time. It's also the great equalizer because we all get 24 hours in a day. But again, what makes the difference is how we choose to invest it. So how many times have you gotten to the end of November and December and wished you had more months or more hours in your year because you're up against the gun because we're not sure whether or not we're going to hit our quota? It happens more often than we want to admit. So I'm going to present the concept of 5 minutes. And the concept of 5 minutes is this. 5 minutes doesn't seem like a lot, but 5 minutes over the course of 365 days is 30 hours. And so how many of us are taking 5 minutes a day to strategically plan behaviors that we're unconditionally committed to and understanding exactly what our day is going to look like? Because that strategic planning is going to take us from reactive mode to proactive mode and help us leverage our time lest it leverage us. And that's when time becomes a problem. Topic number 3, playbook. And this is for all you sales leaders and sales managers out there. How many companies across the United States have actually built and have their people meaningfully executing a sales playbook? And the answer is this: 1 out of 100. 1 out of 100 companies actually built a sales playbook. Why is this important, and what are the elements of a sales playbook, you might ask? And so here are just a couple. Pre-call sales plan, post-call sales debrief, building business agendas, having potent pain questions that we're going to ask, building magic phrases within our sales process, and understanding what the sales process is, where we are versus where we need to go, and what are the meaningful steps within those that we need to take. And so if we've got a playbook that's been built, we can now capture best practices across the highest performers of our organization, and we can bestow that upon people that are just being onboarded and those folks that aren't necessarily hitting the numbers that we want them to hit over the course of a month or a quarter. So we have to understand what the game plan is. We have to understand what a playbook is in order to build a game plan. So just like an NFL team or a college team, let's give our people the tools they need for success. So that's Sales PTI, 3 topics in 3 minutes that you chose. I'm Rich Austin. We'll see you back here next month. Have a great week. Go sell something.